Hi, Pete Wall, Mart TV, and something rather different, as they say in Monty Python. This is Pedersoil's Black Widow. Bearing in mind Pedersoil, very famous Italian company, they made their name making incredibly good reproductions of rifles like the Sharps, Trapdoor Springfield, Remington Rolling Block, and other such classic guns in the American 1800 period. This is a total departure. It's a single shot, break barrel, hammer fired, I suppose youth 2.2, I don't know, or of just a general cheap gun. And they've managed to combine some quite strange elements. The butt, if you're an air gunner or of that age, is very much like the old Lincoln Jeffries butt you'd see on the underlever air rifles they made. Though it's obviously modern synthetic. It's got a very nice pistol grip and what I would call a saw type grip with a short tang there. It does lock the hand in surprisingly well. As you can also see here, they've made storage for 8 rounds of 2.2 LR. There's drilled holes and the ammo goes in there, so you've got rounds on gun, I suppose. So it's hammer fired, and the weight of the hammer is quite heavy. So what you get is there's no safety system. You can pull the hammer back, one click, and it raises off the firing pin. Pull it all the way back, and it's ready to go. To open the gun up, pull that what looks like a giant trigger back, and it exposes the chamber and the extractor. This is not an ejector, it's just a plain extractor gun. The gun comes with iron sights. There's a basic V-notch under here which you can't see, and there's a blade up front, and this is a scope rail, sort of Picatinny Weaver style rail, which just screws on top. If you can look, the problem is it's a polymer moulding and it's not exactly solid. It's okay when it's back over the action here, but it's just a little bit loose. Now the other thing this is, I was going to put a scope on it, but because of the nature of the hammer, you need a very high mounted scope so you can get your thumb to the hammer to cock it, and when the scope was so high mounted you couldn't really get your head to it properly, so basically I decided to put a red dot on instead. Up front, the 19-inch barrel is threaded 1/2 by 20 UNF, which is great, so you can get moddies aren't a problem. You've got a little Picatinny rail under here if you want to put a torch on it. It weighs about 3.5 pounds, and you can also, by taking the screw out, you can pull the fore end forward and you can fold the gun double, so if you want to put it in the backpack it's very easy for that sort of thing. I get the impression it's aimed like somebody on a small holding who wants a short range 2.2 rimfire, or a youth gun, or somebody who's just walking in the woods, perhaps not in this country but in Europe, and they want a 2.2 rifle for bagging rabbits and things. I don't know, but that's really how it is. So let's have a look. So say to load it, press that there, it hinges open, grab around, which is oddly enough a bit awkward, drop it in so it engages the extractor, shut it up, pull back the hammer, and crack. Fires, open it up again, the case is lifted and you just have to pull it out. In use, the length of pull is quite good. The problem is the trigger pull is very heavy. I would say it's between 6 and 8 pounds, and it really is very heavy. And the other thing is that the hammer spur where you cock it is smooth steel, and it's a little bit slippery. They might have been well advised to put a 90-degree adapter like the lever action do on their hammer guns. Okay, just check accuracy. I'm shooting at 25 yards because I've only got a red dot on this. I explained about having a scope too high and also blocking the hammer, so I'm using a red dot. So I kept it at 25 yards. So let's just pop a few shots through it. So the hammer is quite firm to cock and the trigger is also quite firm. So you need to maintain a really good hold. When you open up the action, the firing pin is forced back. The bounce off 2.2, but then again you often get that. It's my last round. We've got a 5-shot group there, 10, 9, and then that's 2 there and 1 there, and those 2 in the outer ring are from a different when I was zeroing, so that's about probably 2 inches roughly at 25 yards. So, which is not amazing, but it's not surprising with the very heavy trigger. I do believe that that will be improved, A, with a little optic sight that magnified, and B, with a fair bit of weight taken off the trigger. So potentially you could say you're shooting 4 inches at 50, but say that's what it is. But it's not expensive. It's 340 quid, I believe, from Henry Krank, and it's just a rather unusual rifle. So there it is. If you're looking for a little compact gun, you could almost say it's a survival rifle, or for your kids or just for yourself for potting about with, then there it is, the Pedersoil Black Widow. So if you like what you saw, comment, tell your friends, support the website, and if you need to speak to me about anything, it's the usual, pmore.shootingsports@gmail.com. Until next time, good and safe shooting.